Hello, gentle viewers. This is App Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 25 with the Charlotte Silverwolves. And I just got to thinking, I'm not going to be saying either of those words too frequently in the future because OOTP 26 is right around the corner. One of the things that I want to do for you folks is I want to. I'm checking something real quick. Okay. Is I want to potentially release the save if people want to give it a shot. And see what they can do with the Silver Wolves. So if I do that, I'll do it on Reddit. Maybe I'll post like a link to like Google Drive or something. So be watching out for that if that's something I end up doing. So last season we had a bit of a year in transition, certainly far off of our normal peak, but we lost the ALCS in 6 games. We were 2 wins away. Sorry, in 7 games. 1 win away from going back to the World Series again, despite a team that had a lot of turnover. If we take a look at our position register, starters, positional, compare 2047 to 2046. We had we had 2 starters, Gillens and Heil, one of whom switched positions. Look at how stable things were for a while, and then look at what they are now. That's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. All right, let's start by hiring yourselves a new hitting coach, but maybe hiring nobody. Because I think Kevin Denis Fortier would be a very fine hitting coach for us. So let's do that. Let's just promote him. He's earned this opportunity to show that he can be the hittingest coach of all hitting coaches. Ben Johnson, you get a promotion. No, not AAA Portland. I want you to be the hitting coach for AAA Portland. Chung Yun Cho, you're a pretty good coach. I want to get a really good coach, though. I want to get like an incredible hitting coach. Malcolm Moore, you're in. Plus, he's also nice and young, which is a good thing for us to have. Though we need a AAA manager. Oh, get rid of this. I don't need a filter for this. I want the best possible coach. Which I think could be Eric Gonzalez. Let's give him a chance. No, this seems short sighted. I should at least promote people if they are worthy. Herm the Worm, 100% is worthy of a AAA managing job. Michael Perez is nothing special. I think Mr. Perez here can just work a little bit more. So we hire somebody for AA instead. And if that's the case, I think Zach Files is a worthy selection. Wonder if Sergio Zapata is going to be available as a coach. He's going to take the year off. I'd respect it if he did. If he's like, no, I'm chill out. I'm gonna relax. I'd be like, you know what, bro? Heard. Please start a new position, Darren. I beg of you. Please, don't do this to me. Learn plate discipline, please and thank you. Let's go by prospects. Bachman, Turner Overdrive, plate discipline. I would love to train up Armenta, but I have a feeling he's not going to be able to improve anyway because he's hurt. So I don't think we can do anything with him. I can get Farfan here to throw strikes. That would be lovely. Kevin Molina. I'm not convinced he's going to be a great player anyway, but we can certainly give him a bit of the old plate discipline. I'm going to try something a little bit crazy. I'm going to see if I can't get him to generate bat speed and improve his power. Alright, I can keep... I think Moncada is worth keeping. But nobody else here necessarily leaps out at me as saying, ah, yes, clearly. I would love to get a top flight starting pitcher. That'd be nice. Alright, Dan Sutton wants a pretty modest raise. He's gonna get it. Oh, this is a hard no from me. How about 1 year? And then we talk after that. Daniel Rocha's getting paid closer money to not close games. Like, it seems like he pitches less and less each season, but he pitches really effectively when he does pitch. I'm willing to give him another year. $6 million is a rounding error for us at the moment, so I'm not. Even $8 million is, so I'm not really worried about it. It doesn't concern me, and I don't know what road he is to this team. I don't know what his long-term future is, but I know for now he's pretty solid. I'm not giving him a long-term deal. He will enjoy his 1 year deal. I know we've got money, but that doesn't mean I want to spend it recklessly. I want to spend it in an intelligent way, for sure. Zachy B wants a pretty minor increase in salary. I don't know that he's going to be all that helpful. And maybe we're better off trading him, but I think he's at least a useful player. So we can toss him a little something something. There we go. Arbitration done. Evander Green wanted like 10 million, didn't he? 8 million. Not worth it to me. Sorry, mate. Zach Schneider can be re-signed. Jeremy Evans can have a new contract. As long as you're above replacement level in the minors by at least a win, I'm willing to give them more opportunities. All right, that feels like early decisions made. What do we want at this point? I feel like our outfield could be better potentially, but that might just come from experience with having Gillens, Tovar, and Wood together for another season. Um, I could use a high quality second baseman to take some of the pressure off of Heil. He wasn't awful in the field, but I do think we're better served having him play a different position if he can figure it out. Tim Davis is not worth keeping. He's no, I guess he is a captain. That's true. He does offer us that. He offers us leadership, so I guess that's something. Joe Bach very clearly is deserving of a spot on our team, probably a third. Shortstop fills up for Braggs. I mean, Rody Vomers isn't the worst choice at shortstop, but we could potentially upgrade there. Um, yeah. Making room for Chris Akoff at first base feels like an inefficient use of resources. So first base is another place you could upgrade it. Possibly simply by promoting Jesus Moncada here. So first base is up for grabs. If we could get Heil to play first base and then get a better second baseman, I think the rest of the team would just naturally improve. Yeah. That's my thinking. Lincoln, I've been thinking, what the hell have you been drinking? Let's advance time a bit and see what happens. Also, I had a tragedy. I put some tea in the microwave because it's cold, and I didn't put it in for long enough, so my tea was like unpleasant, and I had to throw it out. Which makes me a little bit sad, but I'll get over it. Maybe. Nice. That was a very easy choice. I love it. Okay. Lots of people signing new deals. Nothing too surprising. Nice, and then a bunch of minor leaguers signed new minor league deals, so we can be cool with that. Let's scoot on down to free agency filing because I don't think there's any decisions I need to make between now and then. And we're in a good position to potentially add a really premium player, but it has to be the right player. I'm not going to spend just to spend. That's not how I do things here. Oh, you would give me Eric Mashburn? No. Chris Wilson won reliever of the year. Joe Bach got an almost unanimous rookie of the year because of Jorge Heredia. I get that he had 38 home runs, but that was still kind of a trash tier season. Like, he's barely above replaceable. You still thought he was the best player in the league. Miss you with that bullshit. No other awards. I'm a little surprised we didn't end up with a Gold Glove for Wood. Who won the center field Gold Glove? And how good were they really? I mean, it was close. He was worth almost 2 wins defensively. I think Tim Wood was as well. Tim Wood was actually a better center fielder. I would have given him the Gold Glove, but nobody asked me. Clearly, clearly. I will open up the bank account for the correct play. Oh, we have a new owner. Jim wants you to sign Daniel Roca to a long-term deal. Okay. That's a thing, I guess. Poor Colin Barnes. Really? I just think that's silly right now. I don't see there being a ton of benefit to offering him a longer term deal right now. I could be persuaded, but I think at least for right now, I don't think it makes much sense. Who do we got here? Okay, we have Sergio Ramirez at catcher. Um, he's really good. But then so is Pat Martinez, and Pat Martinez has the value of being basically free. So catcher is not something I'm interested in. Juan Pacheco is a good player, but not a great one. Not worthy of the money he's asking for. Brad Findlay is the kind of player that I would have instantly fallen all over in the past, but he is injury prone, and that's not a good use of my money either. A lot of these are really high injury people. Mr. Hong here is interesting. Is this something that interests me? Is a guy like Ayala could be good too. We'll talk to him here in a second. Okay, if Hong plays right field, who's getting benched? It's Tovar. I think I'd rather have Tovar, in all honesty. I mean, Gillens is probably overpaid. Given what he's actually offering the team, he's probably overpaid. I don't think it means I need to get rid of him anytime soon, though. Arturo Ayala is somebody I could get behind. He's lefty that throws surprisingly hard. He's a captain for more leadership. He's got good pitching stats. But he is already 30, so I don't want to pay him a huge amount of money for a long time. What if we do 5 years with a team option in year 4? He wants that 5th year guarantee. He wants that 4th year guaranteed. If that's how he feels, I'm willing to give him an opportunity. This feels like it's a bit of a waste, but it also feels like he might earn it. So I'm not that concerned about it. We could bring Jeff Shumo back. That would be funny. Mike Bennett just got cut. No, he didn't get cut. He just got not offered a contract. Yeah, I wasn't going to do that anyway. Josh Lippincott is decent. If I needed a 1 year stopgap at second, Steve Holland also would qualify for that. Let's grab Juan Laguna. Laguna Matata. Um, Corey Williamson, I don't want to sign because I want to see what happens with Darren Heil. I think he has a big outcome on this, how this season progresses. Pacheco, I have mixed opinions of. He's definitely a really good infielder. He definitely has a lot to offer us as a shortstop. But I'm concerned about the bat being still being good into his, mid to late 30s. I think that might be a risk I'm not willing to take. Yeah. We could go for Julio here. I don't think that necessarily does much for me either, but maybe. There's potentially a spot in my pen, but there's also potentially both Armenta and Fuentes being available in the near future. And I'm not going to sign someone just to sign somebody. I would like a veteran outfielder that had a bit more offensive pop, but not somebody that I'm going to have to pay like 20 million for. Do we bring back Jeff Schumo? Is that the kind of thing I'm interested in? Maybe. Probably not. But maybe. The thing is, I don't want somebody that's going to play every day. I want somebody who's going to be content to be a useful bat without necessarily being guaranteed a starting spot. Kyung Kim here is actually pretty decent all around. He's not like amazing. No, his bat's too weak. We could get super cheap Jeff Schumo. I could be interested in that. Juan Galindo, we could make him an offer, bring him back. I think Galindo offers quite a bit of leadership, but I think I'd rather have Surreal here, maybe? No, I don't want Surreal. I don't need bargain basement Jeff Schumer. We can have the real thing. Dan Stockton will absolutely offer a contract too. That I have no question about. I guess Juan Galindo for 1.8 million is a pretty decent outfielder. He doesn't even want a major league deal. I think I'm fine with that. Am I being cheap about him? I don't think I am. I just don't think him is that good. I think he's a smart player who has consistently not been a good hitter. So yeah. Let's advance a little bit of time and see how things go. Oh, I do need to activate Jeffrey Craig. That's true. Pacheco's going to get a lot of money. He's by far the best position player. We did get Arturo Ayala. Is Ayala overpaid? It's hard to say. At the very least, he offers us another great starting pitcher. Um, yeah. Like, this five-man rotation is pretty amazing. Sutton, Yeski, Carrillo, Carmona, and Ayala is a pretty damn good rotation. Um, we've got a nice mix of youth and experience, all at fairly reasonable prices. I think Carmona's overpaid, especially relative to what he's provided with us the past 2 seasons. But I guess at least he is durable. So that counts for something. All right, let's advance a little bit farther. Darren Heil learned first base. I kind of thought that might happen. And a Darren Heil at first base means I can get a better second baseman. All right, so let's think this one through now. If Darren Heil plays first base, who plays second? I mean, defensively, Sam Sexton can play it. Like, I just think we're a better team with Darren Heil playing first base. Let's. Okay, you really don't want to play Heil anywhere but second. I kind of want to force Darren Heil to play first. At least in terms of I want him to play first base for spring training and see how quickly he can develop. And I want to see what kind of lineup we have with him playing first. Like, this is clearly a significant defensive improvement, right? Like, very clearly. Sexton at second, Guy Fonsi Toe at short, and Joe Bach at third. This is a really good defensive infield. Like, really, really good. Offensively, it's limited. Um, do we go after Pacheco? I don't think so. I think it's probably fine to give him another opportunity to see what he can manage. I think. Andy Gillen's had a rough year last year. Not so rough that I'm just gonna toss him out with the rubbish, but I do think there's room for a good young outfielder to make some serious hay this coming season for sure. All right. Hall of Fame voting, the most important decision anyone could ever make is two people: Ernie Jarvis and Sergio Zapata. I mean, if nobody else gets it in this class, those two deserve it. Max Clark and Jackson Chorio both deserve it. I still hold a candle for Jacques Leto, even though I know he's not going to make it. I'll vote for Kirkering. If he makes it, he makes it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But I don't want to be the reason he doesn't make it. Colson Montgomery. Daddy O. Absolutely. I feel like there's a pretty high likelihood that both Zapata and Jarvis both make the Hall of Fame on first ballot, but I think Zapata's case is much, much stronger. Um, I think Zapata's just got a much easier path. I will vote for Mauricio here. I will vote for anybody else who has at least 50% of the vote and isn't being voted for by me already. Wyatt Langford can have a shot, I guess. That's fine. I will leave two empty spots on my ballot and not lose any sleep about it. All right. So it's not going to be hard for Lazada to make the team out of spring training. It's mostly going to depend on how much he develops. With Darren Heil improving at first base, let's go ahead. First of all, let's go ahead and reset our scouting profile to be my scout, not your rando. And then let's go ahead and assign a new player to the development lab. Any active roster players that could really use a bit of a top up? Not really. I could have Darren Heil just master first base, I suppose. I mean, he's already basically a flawless hitter. I don't really see much upside to rushing him. Let's go back to prospects. I want to get a young pitcher in the lab here. We already have Farfan that's pitching, which is good. I'm not going to go all the way down to Pat Kirkman, though. That's just silly. Griff, work on your plate discipline, I guess. It's always a correct answer. Do we go after Pacheco? I just don't think it makes sense. I don't think it's a smart decision. You know? 20 million dollars for a closer is ridiculous. I refuse to pay that. Like, I'm not even going to entertain it for a 10th of a second. I don't hate Julio Guerrero, but I don't like his offensive profile. I think he is a bit limited, as is Steve Holland. Let's just call a spade and look at second baseman, and let's not overthink this one. I mean, Jeff Raven costs me almost no money, and even if all he does is just back us up in the infield, I think he's worth it. Plus, he's a literal Raven. I think Ayala's going to be an important signing. I think he's going to be somebody that really puts us in a good position to have something we didn't have last year. I don't think we had the veteran experience and top quality that we needed in the rotation. I think Ayala plus what's his face, Carrillo, more than gives us that. I need Carmona to pay up to pitch up to his salary. I think is an important thing we also need. Because right now Carmona hasn't been an incredibly impressive pitcher. I wouldn't mind a cheap reliever. I also wouldn't mind a Jeffrey Craig never pitching again. Mm. I think our biggest issue is just the fact that there's significantly less talent concentrated in significantly fewer hands. Jeff Raven is wanting more money. I'll give you 2.7 million. I don't even fucking care, man. Oh, Mike Bennett. That's actually a really good deal for him. I think Texas is going to get themselves a great catcher. He was way overpaid what I was paying him, but I think this is a very reasonable contract for somebody with his leadership, his high quality defense, and his offensive capabilities. So I think that is, I think that's a good choice. I think it's a good job by Texas. I think it's a good job for Bennett. I think it's a nice mix there. Do we just put Galindo on the 40 man? I don't think so. I at least want to look at the Rule 5 options before I commit. A bunch of nobodies got taken, which is fine. Um, you're a very weird pitcher. I don't think you're very good. I don't think that interests me. Chris Santa Barbara can't actually play the field. If I wanted him, I would just add him to the 40 man. Amari Kabia is also one of my guys. Okay, okay. Fine. Jamari Arkansas? Maybe. We can give him a try. Maybe. Damn, I'm apparently just like filling the rest of the league because I just have so much talent development. Um Corey Barnett is low-key a pretty damn good pitcher that just happens to be injured at the moment. I'm willing to go ahead and take him as well. Why can I not select Corey Burnett? Is my 40 man full? It is full. Okay. Gregory Weber, get the fuck out of here. There you go. I think that's it. I think that's all I'm interested in. So if anybody else gets taken off my team, I guess I live with it. But Devon Butler actually is a pretty decent pitching prospect. I just didn't have a purpose for him. So we'll see. If I could get Pacheco for less. Oh, Pacheco's already gone, I think. Phil Savage got 13 million. Nice. Oh, Cleveland signed Pacheco. Interesting. Mike Boardman and Jeff Schumacher both signed. Yeah, I feel like Darren Heil moving off of second makes us a better team. And I know it blocks certain players on this franchise, but I don't care. I just don't think it matters that much. Both Zapata and Jarvis made it. Lovely. Shumo getting 25 million over 3 years. Honestly, I think this is a good deal for him. I think he's always got the potential to be a top tier player when his salary demands are reasonable. Damn, both were almost unanimous. Nice work, gentlemen. Nice work. And let's not forget, where did we get Ernie Jarvis from? He was our 10th overall pick. That's pretty damn good. I'm really happy for both of them. I think that's just tremendous that we were able to get two players of such high caliber on the team at the same time, and both were able to win multiple championships. This is such a cheap team. Like, only Darren Heil's making a lot of money, which I'm personally fine with. I am quite personally fine with that as a statement that we make. All right. Let's talk about international free agent signings. I'd like to get a really good one in honor of Zapata. I also feel like with our current team, like so many players are at or near the top of their game, but there's also a lot of room for improvement. I definitely think our second and third division type players have a chance to be improved upon. I just don't want to spend boatloads of money for players that don't actually present that big an upgrade. When did we get Pat Martinez? A 6th-round draft pick. He could have gotten some Rookie of the Year votes, potentially. He had a great season. All right, International Amateurs. If I'm taking a player with little power, he has to be a really great defender, and he is not that. Juan Castaneda is another second baseman who can't actually play second base. He's got some nice tools on him, though, and he is pretty smart. I could maybe see that happening, potentially. Oh, all players, please. Yeah, if there's an amazing pitcher, I'd rather have that. He's 6'2" and 180. You call him chubby? Is this like one of those things like we call him tiny because he's like 8 foot tall? Maybe. He's an amazing pitching prospect. I would love to have him in our organization. Let's do it. I want you to come play for me too. What if I gave you $4.75 million? I know you can make more money. Oh, the pools have reset. That means I can offer him more money than anyone else, which I should be able to grab him without too much hassle. It was pretty good. Oh yeah, I plugged my phone in. That's right. I was gonna go turn the heat off, but you cut my budget. The fans apparently are sad about losing John Vandergreen. How much money did he make? 1.5 million. I would have brought him back for 1.5 million, but he seemed like his pretty insistent on making like 10 million, and I wasn't gonna pay him that much. But whatever. I don't need three better than average catchers. That's a needless extravagance, and I'm not on board with it. It doesn't please me. Yeah, we're not going to be a dominant team necessarily, but I think getting Heil off of first is really good. Or off of second, rather, is really good, and it's going to make our defense better, which should hopefully help our younger pitchers perform better. Um, we'll see. But I think that's the right choice. It does sacrifice some of Heil's like positional flexibility. Like maybe he doesn't get an MVP award again, but also maybe that's okay. Yeah, that's not what we're here for. Nothing too wild happening here. Springen Sie training. Oh, it's like Gallagher for Gallagher. Like, wow, you guys have a type. It's more depressing than that, though. It's less exciting. Okay, okay. And we did get Serta, which is amazing. All right, so who gets some spring training opportunities? Armenta, absolutely. Raven, yes. Not Golden Corral because I don't want to have to send him right back down. Padilla, Bachman, Santa Barbara, Di Gregorio, Amari, and Nate Flora. We'll go with them. I mean, Armenta probably doesn't make the rotation this year. That's probably not going to happen. Um, but maybe it does. Maybe it does happen. I don't know. I am unable to know. A couple of you guys did a lot better. That's good. I think Jeffrey Craig is washed. The man can't stay healthy. I think deluding ourselves that he's ever going to be like a quality player, it's just not sensible. Don't tell me what to do, game. Fine. Um yeah, I just Corey Burnett, I'm just gonna send you back to your home team. I'm not gonna keep him around. Um, I mean, a week is fine. We can deal with a week. Rocky Graves is gonna miss 7 weeks. I mean, he wasn't gonna make the minors majors anyway, I don't think, but I could put him on the 40 man or the 60 man IL and then deal with him later. Rody Bomer's leading Major League Baseball and offensive capabilities in spring training is something I didn't have in my bingo card. Player development. Anything wild happen? Anything truly amazeballs? Lozada did get better. I did tell him if he got better that he'd have a chance to get more playing time. I'm not going to say that Andy Gillens is a bust because I do think there's something to be said for his talent, but I do think he's not the same guy. And do we just release Andy Gillens? Is that what I do with my produced amount of extra money? How sad would the fans be if I did that? I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard on him. He didn't play very much last year. Maybe he'll bounce back and have a great season. We'll see. It is a thing that we shall determine. Please autoplay until March the 24th. Autoplay. Like if Gillen gets benched, he gets benched. But that's okay. I'm not going to be the guy to necessarily spend a bunch of time and effort trying to make him into something he's not. 8 months for Dan Sutton. There's Armenta's job. Rocky Graves might retire. Like you'll notice here that his injury time left his question mark. Might be the AI telling me that he's done, like Dan Sutton potentially. Jeffrey Craig is going back out for another 4 weeks. That's fine. I think honestly, the second he's healthy, we trade him. I don't think there's any point in keeping him around when he's just never going to be there for us when we need him to be. Him and Sutton both are very injury prone, probably because all those years as two-way players. Um, it's hard to be a one-way player in Major League Baseball, and I can't imagine it's any easier to be a two-way player. Santa Barbara just goes back to the minors. Like that's not even. I'm not even gonna dignify that with a. Oh my God, what are we going to do? Okay, 44 players. Really, Plufios? You want to be a starter over Armenta, huh? Armenta has very little experience pitching above Double A. I'm gonna send him back to the minors. I'm not even gonna entertain him sticking in the majors. Britford, Flora. How many pitchers do I have? I have 16. Osborne to the minors. Vargas to the minors. Lampman to the minors. And now what are we looking at? 13 pitches. What if him is Scatendori? That's probably good. That probably works for me. All right, Bachman to the minors. Moncada to the minors. Somebody's going to massively overpay Akoff, but he is a good enough outfielder that I think it's worth keeping him on the roster. Tim Davis is only around here for his leadership. Is that enough? Is that a good enough reason to keep him on the team? No, not Ayala, Martinez, and Welcher. All of whom are good leaders as well. Tim Davis no longer has a role on this club. Raven to the minors, Rivera to the minors. Esteban Padilla is a really good player, but he needs more seasoning. A lot more seasoning. He's a seasonless player. We need all the flavorings for him. T. Gregorio to the minors. I think Welcher's at least earned an opportunity to get some playing time at the major league level. I think he's earned that opportunity. Um, Bouger to the minors makes sense. Okay. Payton's got a really nice bat, and he's also a pretty competent outfielder. I can't have this many outfielders making the roster. I can't permit that to happen. Okay, Delliston played quite well in his playing time. I think he's at least earned a chance to show us a bit more. I just feel like keeping Akoff is silly. Maybe? Let me try to trade Ochoa and see what kind of market there is for him. Because I'm just gonna waive him. I don't think he's that good, and if somebody claims him, they claim him, and that's fine. But okay, 7 outfielders is excessive. We need to get rid of at least 2 of them. I think Welcher to the minors. And then the question is, do we keep Lozada up in the majors, or do we send him to AAA and let him just wreck face for a while? I mean, he currently would be the second best plate discipline guy on the team. But I feel like there's so much more to his game. I think we'd let him go to the minors. I just want to let him cook a little bit longer, and then we can talk about it later on. Because Scannandori can also pitch, I think he's slightly more valuable to me than Akoff when it comes to who the 25th man is going to be. So I think we send Akoff to the minors. Um, if we could get an elite prospect, I would actually trade Akoff. I just feel like he's always going to be the kind of guy that other teams value more than I do. And it's going to be hard for him to produce a consistent track record because of his complete and utter lack of plate discipline. Like, he's not hitting 300 plus. He's not a good hitter. He's not a good enough hitter, I should say. Mr. Akoff, can I turn you into a quality prospect, I wonder? I'm looking for a high ranking green or a low ranking blue. I'm not saying either one of those things. What if we got a green and 2 yellows? Is that a reasonable... I can get 2 greens and a yellow. Okay. Danny Hallquist is fine. I do not pay him a moment of regard. Daniel Castellanos could be somebody really awesome. He's toolsy as all fuck right now. But he's got amazing speed. He's a competent outfielder. He's got enough contact and gap power that he could hit a lot of doubles. I could get behind that. Julio Garibay, I like quite a lot. I think he's a really good player. I doubt we're going to tap that, but I at least want to at least look. Yeah, let's make this happen. Done. Can I get greedy? Can I get another top prospect? I wouldn't say no to Juan Lozano. Juan Lasagna. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to change his mind. I'd rather just take what we can get and move on. Mike Swank is indeed quite swank. You know what? Let's just do it. I'm not going to overthink this one. I'm sorry that they're sad about losing Akoff, but this is such a good return for a player that's always going to be limited. He's gonna run into he's gonna 350 1 year and look amazing, and someone's gonna pay him like $11 billion, and they're gonna look awfully silly for that. The fans fucking love me, man. Shut the hell up. You know I'm great. You know why I get the job done. So stop your belly aching. Wants you to re-sign Aroka this season? Man, that just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'll do it if that's what he wants, but he's gonna want so much money and he's not gonna be worth it. Hey, Griff there got better. David Lozada is the #1 prospect in the major leagues. Jorge Armenta is #7. Nice. Neither one of these guys, by the way, was a trade. Was a draft pick. They were both international free agents. I think that just goes to show you, when you're a team like us where you don't get high draft picks, that's where you get your top prospects from. We have the very best of all minor league systems, which is pretty sweet. Don't fucking sleep on Bobby Compton, man. He's actually a pretty good player, potentially. I could have emails of my very own. See, this drives me nuts. This is why I don't want to pay him $20 million, because the game is apparently convinced that Chris Wilson is the greatest pitcher of all time. Like, I cannot fathom why we're doing things this way. There is nothing in my brain that is like, yes, the very best use of Daniel Rocha's amazing left arm is to have him kill lefties. And that's why he wants like $20 million. That's why I'm like, I don't think so, man. It'll make the new owner happy, and it's not like it cripples us that much financially. But it just feels dumb. Like, this feels like the kind of deal that, like, I mean, look at what he accomplished, though, in just 38 innings. We just need to trust this guy. We need to just say, you know what? Let him cook. I don't feel in a rush to do it. I don't feel like I need to rush to do that. So what are we looking at in terms of our lineup here? Well, some of these guys played for us last season. We're getting a bit more. Actually, all these guys were on the roster last season. They just didn't all start with us. So there are new position players this year. Sito is going to play from day one. Joe Bach is the reigning defending rookie of the year, and he's going to play on day one. Sam Sexton provides us with a reliable glove with a potentially surprising bat. Darren Heil hopefully can play more games and be one of the best hitters in the league. He did have a better season in 2048 than in 2047. I just think this preserves his career. And that is something that's quite important because we are paying him a lot of money. He is the new Mr. Silverwolf. And so far, his early career has looked quite promising. He's already got some hardware to show for it, so that's pretty good. Pat Martinez could have won Rookie of the Year many years. I think he's got a world of talent as well. How does the lineup get better? Andy Gillens, honestly, if he doesn't have a nice season, I think he's probably just cut. I just don't see any sense in keeping him around if he's going to do the one thing he's supposed to do well very badly. He is meant to be one of the premier hitters in the American League, and he was not that last year. So hopefully he bounces back there. Tovar is going to be huge. I think there's a lot riding on his shoulders, but he had an amazing season last year. It was really, really good. And I think it's very possible that he could be a great catalyst for the rest of this line. I think he's also too good at power hitting to actually be leading off, but I'd rather he lead off than somebody else. So, yeah. Ayala's going to be important. If Ayala can give us 2 to 3 quality seasons, I think we are in such tremendous shape with our rotation going forward. I need Carmona to step up. I need Carmona to figure out that, yes, he's getting paid the big bucks now. That's not an excuse for him to pitch worse. He also doesn't throw very hard. I think he's actually lost velocity over the years, which also concerns me. He has lost velocity, which does give me a big issues. Because this contract ain't going anywhere. It would require him to be a comically stupid idiot to opt out of this contract. I hope he does. If he does opt out of it, I am more than happy to find a replacement pitcher. Maybe Armenta can take his spot. But for right now, I don't see the appeal. I also think Pluvios is going to last very long as our starter. But the AI really wants to try it out. I guess we can give it a shot, especially with Dan Sutton being hurt. So we'll see what happens here. But pretty similar to last year's roster. This is just everyone getting a little bit older and maybe finding roles that they feel really comfortable with. So we'll see what happens. At a bare minimum, we should have one of the best defenses in the major leagues. That I feel very strongly about. We've got a tremendous shortstop, a really good second baseman, and a pretty damn good third baseman. His range isn't great, but he's a third baseman. Range is less important. This is a really good defensive infield. Darren Heil is actually a pretty good first baseman. I think he's going to be one of the better defensive first basemen. So I think we've got ourselves... I wish the lineup had more top-end ability. And maybe that comes from Lozada. Because Lozada could be, and I say this with no hyperbole whatsoever, the equivalent of Sergio Zapata. I think he's got that top level of talent if he takes another step forward this season. I need to see how he handles the high minors. I think that's really important for us. Is Sam Sexton a good second baseman? I don't know. I think his skills are useful. I think he's a good defender that's got more than a little pop. But I will be looking for a second baseman potentially in the near future. Look at our player development report here. We've got some pretty good prospects up and down. I do think middle infield is very thin in the high minors, but that could change quite rapidly. I think we've got probably too much room at first base. Probably, likely. And I feel like center field is a weakness for us. Although Danny Wedlow is actually pretty good. Danny Wedlow is legitimately a decent player. That is a worthy person. He's allowed to be a human being. Okay. That is it for today's episode. I hope you are enjoying. If you are, please remember to like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know how you think the franchise is going. And until next time, this has been UpGuardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.